Okay, I want to start off by saying all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honours to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect, the men and women and children out there, hoping to be delivered in the day of the Lord. So today, I'm going to bring up a list of solar deities. If you might remember, a couple of videos ago, I mentioned a vision from the Most High. And I mentioned that he showed me many kingdoms, and the one thing that connected them all was the fact that they worship the sun. And the fact that he didn't like that, but let's just stick with the first bit. So what I've done today is I've just brought up a list quickly, just found this quick list. It's not hard to find, just tap it in on Google. And first of all, if we look at the, these are all the places pretty much all over the earth. And we've got Hamites up there at the top, America, Babylon the Great, Asian, European, Oceania. So here we go. Let's see how big this list is. So start off here with the Africans, Hamites, Egyptians. As we go down, you might recognize some of these. You've got Horus here, Ra. We're going to the Americans, Aztec, Brazilian, Inca. This list just goes on and on. Into the Asians are big on some worship. We've got the Buddhists there, the Canaanite, Chinese, Elamite, known as Indians, Filipino. This just goes on and on. This is one huge list. Each one of these represent a different deity towards some sort of sun worship or celestial worship of the sky. We've got keep going on down here, Japanese, Persian down there, going to the European now, we've got the Celtic mythology. And the key word, right, is that what you're seeing though with every single one of these are called mythology, which basically means they're myths. So they're not actually proven, it's just what somebody's believed and passed on. So even here, look, you might see Apollo, Greek mythology, Apollo. I know you've heard of Apollo. Everywhere you go nowadays, you see the word Apollo tires. There's all sorts of companies with that name. And the list just goes on. Australian, Maori. So that's one big, massive, huge list of sun gods. It's not just one or two. There's sun gods pretty much been in every part of earth worshipped. All these different names, all these different deities created by men with the idea to worship them. Now that's not really something that should be done, and this is what Yahweh is coming back to destroy, people who are linked with this. Now first of all, we know that everybody that's lived in the past is now living back here for these end times through spiritual regeneration. You are the daughters or sons of your fathers, if that makes sense. And so these things that we're seeing here have all been brought back to life by the same people that were worshipping back then are doing it now. And when you look into modern day religion, pretty much all of these religions are based around worshipping the sun or there's some sort of element in there. Christianity, look, we see the biggest. Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism. Now we just looked at that list there, and pretty much all these, I mean, Christianity was, the places associated with these religions are also associated with sun worship. That's the link. I mean, even in Christianity, I mean, it's pretty obvious nowadays. A lot of people know. If you don't know, you might be new to this. Sun worship in modern churches is a big thing. And we see the symbols, all the type of things that they do. And here we can read, the following words and terms used in modern churches today all have pagan origins and are found to be directly linked to the ancient sun worship found in Babylonian, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Teutonic German, Hindu and Persian cultures. So this basically just goes on to give you a list of words, and they're trying to explain that basically sun worship and paganism is incorporated into the Christian church, which is the same thing that I'm trying to show you. And I mean, you can look up these images yourself. I mean, they're quite clear when you see them. You can sort of work them out, what they're trying to show you. And I mean, like we say, there's many cultures that do this. Even if you go over to the Hindus, the Hindu gods, the Indian people, they worship the sun. Even the Chinese are into it. As you can see here, they have their own deities. Now, with sun worship, obviously, looking at the sun, you're also going to see the moon. When you keep looking up at the sky, you're waiting for the sun all the time, you're going to also see the moon, you're going to see the stars. So sun worship develops into astrology as well as religion. So nowadays, living in Babylon, living in confusion, they're going to throw everything at you to confuse you. So they've given you all these religions, and if you don't really want to deal with religion, you can still deal with astrology. And that is just another form of sun worship. You see, what I'm trying to show you is that sun worship from back then is pretty much fast forward to today, and it's still here. It's just repackaged and given to us in a different way. So nothing's changed, nothing's new under the sun. And even if when you're looking up into the details of astrology, where is it here? There is scattered evidence to suggest that the oldest known astrological references are copies of texts made during this period, particularly in Mesopotamia, here we go, Sumer, Akkad, Assyria and Babylonia. So this is showing you that, study of the stars, astronomy, is coming from Babylonian times. Just like sun worship, and it's all connected. Don't forget the Muslims, they have their moon and star. The Hindus here, you can see worshipping their own god of the sun. The Buddhas do it. They're all doing it. We go back to that list. These main religions are pushing it. And if you don't want to go with, like I say, with one of these religions, you can go to astrology, and they still push it on you. Now, when we're on this list of astrology, we look down the bottom here, we can see who else is into that. Hellenistic Egypt, Chaldean astrology, Greece and Rome, the Islamic world, they're into it as well. So this is just showing you India, China. Again, it's just another big list of people into astronomy. And again, this links up to sun worship. The same people that are worshipping the sun keep showing up on these lists. So you've got to ask yourself something. And these are the same people that you're surrounded by today. You're trying to find this truth. Just before you found this truth, all you kept coming across was people of these nations. And they're just still pushing the same message to you, but repackaged in a different way. And we fall for it when we're out there. We don't know the truth, and we're just trying to find a spiritual home. We end up falling for some of these false religions and ideas and philosophies. And this is what it is. They're all linked to the same thing. They're all one of the same, but they look like so many different things because this is Babylon, and they've been packaged in different ways. And that is the art of confusion. Give somebody the same thing packaged in 10 different ways and get him to make a choice. He thinks he's made a choice. Really, he just bought the same thing. It was the same thing in every package. That's how it works. Now we notice here as well the Chaldeans. That's quite important to my next point, because if we go over to Isaiah 47 and 1, lament for Babylon, it says here, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay, so this is going into the end time prophecy, the destruction of Babylon the Great, America. But it calls them the daughter of Babylon, the daughter of the Chaldeans. And the reason for that is because America pushes the philosophies of these places, of these times, of these people. Okay, so it's quite simple. This truth is quite simple to get. It's not hard. Yeah, and we move on to Isaiah 47 and 2. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance. I will not meet thee as a man. Because that's what that's going into Yahushua when he comes back. He's coming back with that spiritual power. He's not just coming back as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. So, and this is because of the philosophies that they've been pushing. Even when you look into the daughter of Babylon, all you have to do is type in a quick search, daughter of Babylon, and it pretty much tells you everything. Psalms 137 and 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So this is going into the daughter of Babylon, not the old ancient Babylon, but the new Babylon that pushes the same philosophy, the same gods, the same ideas upon you. Isaiah 47 and 1, and we just read that one. Jeremiah 50:42, they shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to be to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. So that's going into Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, pretty much raising up everybody to want to destroy Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, which is Babylon the Great, which is Mystery Babylon, which is America. And that's going into end time prophecy, World War III. Again here, Jeremiah 51:33. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her, yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. And that's what's coming very soon. This World War III is coming very soon. And it will be time to harvest the daughter of Babylon. Cut her down. And finally, Zechariah 2 and 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that's you, Israel, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. So this is down to you, Israel, to pull yourself out of this. Start backing out of Babylon, because you know it's about to go down. And here we go, Micah 4 and 10. Be in pain and labour to bring forth, O daughter of Zion. like a woman in travail. For now thou shalt go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered, there the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. And that's where you are now. You're in Babylon. You're in the hand of your enemies, and you're waiting to be delivered. You've received this word from Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which is a message to wake up and be ready for that deliverance. You can fall asleep and you will miss it. As simple as that. And don't forget Deuteronomy 4:27. I'll start at 4:26. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto ye go over Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. So this goes into, Israel basically turning away from Yahweh. See, Israel urged to obey God's law, so we turned away from Yahweh, and this is us being urged to not do that. And this is what the issue is, you see, because when we don't follow Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, then we end up serving other gods, the work of men's hands, which are wood and stone. Now that wood goes into, certain people, they walk around with wooden ornaments attached to their neck, and they think that little wooden ornament is going to deliver them in the day of the Lord, but it's not, because the Lord is not a piece of wood hanging around your neck in the shape of a cross. And some of them worship gods which are made of men's hands, which are made of stone. And that goes into certain religion. They have a stone at Mecca. They have a big square stone and they worship it. Even though when COVID-19 came and nobody went near it for months because it has no power, they still worship it. And that is what Yahweh's telling you. You went out there, you went with these other nations and you served other gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which cannot see, cannot hear, cannot smell. And that's the difference between them, dead gods, and Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the living God. Now even when you go into Genesis 11, you can read about the Tower of Babel and pretty much what happened. They built up the Tower of Babel, and Yahweh had to stop it happening. So what he did, he mixed up the languages of the people. You can read this yourself, but he pretty much mixed up the language of the nations to confuse them. Here we go, look. Genesis 11:9. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. So all these other nations, they came together to build the Tower of Babel. And with that, the Lord said, no, I'm not having it. So he put the spirit on them to start changing up their languages and speaking different languages. And through that, they could not finish building the Tower of Babel, which is what you have to look at. Now, this is even something they still push this today. You see, you think this is Genesis chapter 11, right at the beginning. And you're thinking, what's this got to do with today? Well, the Edomites haven't forgotten about it. Because I found this article basically. The Tower of Babel, an ancient symbol for modern globalism. And that says it all. If we read down here, the Tower of Babel today, an ideology. Okay, let's just read what this says here. The purported reasons for the erection of the Tower of Babel closely mirror those of globalism, or a group of ideologies that advocate policies such as increasing immigration, free trade, lowering tariffs, interventionism, and global governance. The prevalence of English as a global language is a key example of evidence of globalism. Between the global expansion of business and the internet, we're now more unified than ever. They're trying to take you back to the state of the Tower of Babel and rejoin up the language of everybody. This is what they're trying to do, in the spirit. I mean, the Tower of Babel is not here anymore, but through the spirit, just to show you that there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that's being done has already been done. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to recreate this one language of the world, which is English. Globalism is generally viewed as the opposite of nationalism, which is the identification and fervent support with one's own nation. Skeptics of globalism cite the propensity for global domination by a few powerful players as a reason for doubting its apparent goal of unifying the people of the world. So what they're saying is that skeptics don't like globalism because that pretty much hands the power to only a few people of the world rather than sharing it out like nationalism does. Okay, now here we go. This notion of a new world order wherein an authoritarian world government would replace sovereign nation states seems to be as a re-emergence of the same story told in the Bible of the Tower of Babel. There you have it. Only with new players. Some post that this possibly has been foretold in religious texts and so would be avoided. I mean, I don't really need to read any more of that. That says it all. That says it all right there. Globalism is an ideology of the Tower of Babel and would suit somebody who wanted to create the notion of a new world order. And just quickly, I looked at witchcraft as well. I mean, when you look at witchcraft, it pretty much mixed in with... See, again, these are just paganist religions. Again, centered around sun worship. There's sun worships mixed in there. And these religions come out from that. These are the, if you like, the not so big religions, but still being practiced. I mean, witchcraft is being practiced in a big way today. There's a lot of women out there with a lot of demons on them, and they go to work, they look normal. They go to work and you speak to them and they sound okay. But when they go home, they're dealing with witchcraft. I mean, I was working with a lady who actually said that to me. I don't know why she told me one day. She told me that that's what she does. Well, obviously how I got her to tell me, but I didn't really want to know. But that's what she does. There's people out there. There's normal people, normal Joe. Well, I shouldn't really say Joe because I'm talking about women, but normal Joe blogs out there dealing with witchcraft. Because, people are out there looking for all sorts of new things nowadays. Yeah, and when you go over to the Blue Letter Bible and you type in sorceries, that also tells you about pretty much witchcraft, because that's what it is. That's what witchcraft is. It's sorcery. Calling upon left-hand demonic power to make things happen for you. And, left-hand spirits do have power to make things happen. Not as great as the right-hand side, but they still have power nonetheless. Isaiah 47:9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. That says it all. I mean, I can carry on reading that, but I mean, you should put that in yourself. Each one of these is pretty much giving a blow to sorceries, anybody involved with sorcery. Revelation 18:23, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So, and what what you have to understand as well, you think of a witch, somebody who comes along and uses sorcery, but there are modern day witches called doctors. Okay, now what you got to understand is when you saw Harry Potter on the TV, Harry Potter is a male witch, is a wizard, pretty much a male witch. And what he does is he takes a potion, like a blue potion, and he mixes it with a green potion. And then he makes like a purple potion out of that. And he'll say to you, drink this and you'll be invisible for 24 hours. Or you can fly for 24, I don't know. That's what Harry Potter, that's what he's about. He mixes this, he mixes that, he makes potions, he makes something happen via a spell. Now, what's the difference with the doctor? The doctor takes a drug, mixes it with another drug and another chemical, and then says to you, take this pill, it will remove all your pain for X amount of hours. I mean, is that not witchcraft? Is that not sorcery? I mean, it's not, put it this way, it's not calling upon Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to solve your problems. It's calling upon mixing substance A with substance B, which is the same as what witchcraft do, these chemical potions, if you like. They always showed you these witches mixing chemical potions. When you're young, you're watching TV, you see them do it all the time, the cauldron, mixing. It's the same thing that the doctors are doing. These WHO and these type of people, that they got their cauldron, they're mixing it. Right now they're mixing Mark of the Beast for you. They're mixing that, and it's going to come out soon, available to you very soon at a shop near you. And as well as mixing potions, witchcraft also involves divination. Sorcery by witches includes divination, which is something that the Illuminati do. If you tap in Illuminati sorcery, it's pretty obvious to see. You see all the symbols. You see this everywhere really nowadays. The all-seeing eye. This is what they'd like to. They put that on the money. They put this on the money, for example. They put it everywhere really nowadays. You see this everywhere. Look on rings. And this is what you need to know. You need to know that the Illuminati consist of the elite bankers of this earth. Know your enemy, as it says there. And these guys pretty much use divination on the left hand side in order to, in order to see what's coming up. To see, this is how they gain their technology. This is how they get their help on the left hand side. We're here on the right hand side, and we're getting our help from Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai through the Spirit, through the Rakah Kadash. And we tell you of events that are to come. We're warning you of Mark of the Beast. We're warning you of Jacob's trouble. We're warning you of World War III. We're reminding you that there is a deliverance coming very soon. And on the left hand side, the top guys are these guys, the Illuminati, and this is what they do. They involve themselves in witchcraft and sorcery. I mean, you can see here, look, all the symbols. They pretty much bring them all into one. Like I say, they just keep readdressing it. I mean, you can see the sun there. You can see the eye, the pyramid. I mean, I don't have to say too much. You should know really by now what these guys are about. Now, when you look into the idol of Baal, the bull, this is what you come across. Canaan, 1300 BCE, Wall Street, 2000 CE. So this is the worshipping of the bull, still carrying on to this day. The worshipping of the bull starts with Apis. Apis was the most important and highly regarded bull deity of ancient Egypt. So it pretty much goes back to Apis. If we read down here, Apis is depicted throughout Egypt's history as a striding bull, usually with a solar disc, and Urias, the sacred serpent, which symbolized the king's power between its horns. So, it goes on to be represented in ancient Egypt, Roman Egypt, the Ptolemaic period. He was represented in the anthropomorphic form as a bearded man in robes, much in the fashion of Greek gods like Zeus, under the name of Serapis. So you see, they just keep rebranding the same god. And the more you go down, the more you read, the Roman period, consistently, no matter which other deities were in vogue at a given time. Apis bull was worshipped ceremonially from this era through the Ptolemaic period and on into the Roman period, consistently, no matter which other deities were in vogue at the given time. So this is what's happening, you see. They've always trying to give you the new fashion of the new god, but this is the one that they kept pushing, mainly, and it's worked its way all the way up until today. Jeremiah 11 and 13, for according to the number of thy cities were thy gods, O Judah, that's you, Israel, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem have you set up altars to that shameful thing, even altars to burn incense unto Baal. Okay, so that's what we do. That's what we were doing before we came back to this truth. We were burning incense to Baal. And you can see here, right here, Baal represents the Canaanite philosophy. It's also there now in Wall Street. So, you don't know how you're worshipping these gods in this modern day and time. They slip it in, they hide it in. Judges 6 and 25. Now it came to pass the same night that the Lord said to him, take your father's young bull, the second bull of 7 years old, and tear down the altar of Baal that your father has, and cut down the wooden image that is beside it. Okay, so this is the Lord speaking to Gideon. Judges chapter 6 is pretty much the Lord speaking to Gideon, telling him, go and tear down the image of Baal, the statue of Baal, the altar. And Gideon's a bit worried about it, and Yahweh puts the spirit on him basically to go and do the work, and that's the work he wants him to do. Tear down the altar of Baal that your father has, and cut down the wooden image that is beside it, and build an altar to the Lord your God on top of this rock in the proper arrangement, and take the second bull and offer a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the image which you shall cut down. And another one you read about in the Bible is Moloch. Some people say Molech. Molech, as also rendered as Molech or Molech from the Hebrew, is a Canaanite god in the Old Testament associated with human sacrifice. Some scholars have suggested that the term refers to a particular kind of sacrifice carried out by the Phoenicians and their neighbors, rather than a specific god. So this is Molech, who you can also read about in the Bible. And if we go to Jeremiah 32:35, and they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my mind that they should do this abomination, to cause Judah to sin. So if we go down and just have a look at the definition of Molech, the usage, Molech equals king, the god of the Ammonites and Phoenicians, to whom some Israelites sacrificed their infants in the valley of Hinnom. Okay, and if we go down here, we can see Moloch, an idol of the Ammonites, who was also at various times worshipped by the Israelites in the valley of Hinnom, who offered human sacrifices to him. And then you can see the chapters to back that up. Now, that same spirit is still around today. There are people out there sacrificing children. I probably don't have to say too much, and they come in the spirit of Molech. And if we go over to Amos 5 and 26, but ye have borne the tabernacle of your Molech, and hewn your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. Okay, so if we, first of all, that's going into what I just explained about Israelites giving up their children for sacrifice to Molech. And if we go down to this word here, hewn.
Strong's H 3594. Hewn.
And we look at the definition here. We have an image or pillar. Okay, so hewn is an image or a pillar. Probably a statue of the Assyrian Babylonian god of the planet Saturn, and used to symbolize Israelite apostasy. Okay, apostasy is pretty much taking ideas from different philosophies and mixing them together to make up your own, pretty much. And that's what's been going on. That's a big thing that's going on nowadays. A lot of people you speak to, they say, yeah, I'm into astrology, and I'm into chakra, the energy, and this and that. And then people give you all sorts of lists. Some people say, yeah, I'm into Christianity, and I'm into just working hard. Some people, people give you their own little breakdown of what they think is the perfect way to live life. And if you look around today, that is a big thing that's going on. And this is where everybody's going off. And this is, again, another sign that we're at the end, because everybody's just off their heads now, with these spirits, these demonic spirits, left-hand spirits jumping on everybody. And they're here in their droves. And these people out here are just bugging out. So if we go back to the verse, hewn. So we looked up the word hewn. Let's read it again. But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Molech, and hewn your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. Okay, so if you want to relate that to the modern day, okay, Molech is child sacrifice. So the Illuminati come in the spirit of Molech, amongst other spirits, but that is one of the things that they push, with their satanic worship and all that kind of stuff. So when you read about the Illuminati, you then read about child sacrifices. You read about adrenochrome. If you haven't heard about adrenochrome, look it up, and that will kind of explain what I'm trying to explain to you. So they come in the spirit of Molech, and hewn your images, pillared our images. Okay, took images and put them up on pillars as if they were gods, the star of your God, which ye made yourselves. Okay, so if you look into the Illuminati, what you will realize is what they do is they pretty much control the media, and they control the celebrities which operate within that media, and they control the narrative of what they say and what they push in order to control us. Now, what they do with these celebrities is they make huge icons of them, and they literally put everything behind them, backing wise, to make them seem above what they really are. And this in turn causes us, the people, Israelites as well as the other nations, although we shouldn't be doing this, this causes us to look at these people as mini gods, mini stars, and we pretty much make these stars ourselves, because these people aren't, these famous celebrities, they're not stars, they're just people. But what happens is we go in herds, we go in droves to a concert or to a game, and we pay to watch them. So we're literally making them the star. They're getting a cut of all our money, and then they get to perform in front of us and act like they're some, do their showboating and act like they're someone. Now, we made those gods, you see, and it comes back to Molech. Those people that run this earth in the spirit of Molech, operate in that spirit, they push celebrities onto us with very specific agendas. And like I'm explaining, you then go and choose one. You might be into religion, so you'll pick that. You're rolling with the sun god. You might say, do you know what, I don't want to deal with that. I'll deal with astrology. So I deal with, you go over there, you're still dealing with the sun god. You go to Islam, you're still dealing with the sun god. You go over to India, where they're supposed to be really spiritual. Guess what? It's dealing with the sun god. So when it comes to, a lot of people don't want to take that option. So what they then do is they just live in the Western world, which is based around consumerism and idolization, self-idolization, idolization of the things that you like, materialistic idolization. And through that, they create idols of these celebrities. And we then pick them and choose them and decide that we like this guy. When you talk to people out here, they say, oh, I like that guy. Oh, they talk about someone famous, they say, I like that guy. And you think to yourself, well, how do you like that guy? You never met the guy. You like what you've read about the guy. But we just talked about the narrative being controlled by the people who operate in the spirit of Molech. So how can you really trust what you read apart from this Bible? Can you really trust it? And this is what this precept is kind of showing you. If you have the spirit, you can understand. In these modern days where nothing is new under the sun, the people that operate in the spirit of Molech give us stars which we choose between, and then we tune our images. We put them up on pedestals. And this is all down to the secret counsel. Psalms 64 and 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Now who's that? Who's the secret counsel of the wicked? The Illuminati, the secret society. Okay, they're not very secret anymore, because pretty much everybody in the world's now heard about them, now knows about them. So that's also another sign to show you we're getting very close to the end of time, because the biggest secret society on earth, running the earth, are now actually pretty much known to everybody on earth. And this is how we know the truth is coming out. This is what's going to happen at the end. All the truth's going to come out. But right now, when you're looking up these Illuminati videos and then you're trying to tell people this, that and the other, and they call you a conspiracy nut, you can tell them that, look, Psalm 64 and 2 told you straight, hide you from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the Illuminati, from the New World Order. The same New World Order that wants globalism, that wants to bring back one language for the world and bring back the spirit of Baal, the spirit of Molech, and all these sun gods. You see, these are the creators of Babylon. Babylon, coming from the word Babel, meaning confusion. And this is what Babylon is confusion. And they set up all these religions, and they set up all these science and these theories. They set up astrology. They set up all these different things for you to get involved with. Even, if you're not interested in any of that, then they gave you sports stars and music stars. And they said, follow one of these and just consume your time in that, because that's what they want you to be. They just want you, turn you into a consumer. And this is what the Illuminati, the New World Order are on, the secret counsel of the wicked. Okay? And that's how you know they're coming soon with this mark of the beast, because they're going to really push this, this control onto you. Psalms 10 and 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. And that's what it is, you see. You wonder why there's only a certain amount of people, 1% of these people on this earth with all the money, and the rest of us are out here scrapping, working every day of the week to make a living. It's because they have lurked in places. They've sat and lurked in places of the villages, in secret places, and they've murdered innocents, and their eyes are set against the poor, us, which is what they make us by planning their, making all their plans. So all these philosophies pushed onto the Israelites, stemming from the Illuminati, the secret council, all these wicked ways in which they try to make us sin and go off, has all been the will of Yahweh. Okay, so Yahweh, that has been his will to use the Edomites to punish us in this particular way and get all these philosophies thrown at us and get us to have to find our way back to the truth. And the reason is, obviously, we went off, we stopped following the laws and commandments, we turned away from Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. But now it's time to turn back. And what you will realise is that all these philosophies that you were given up until now by these Illuminati elite bankers, these people who run the world, secret council, they have basically made us drunk with all these philosophies. And that's what we were up until we found this truth. We were drunk. And you find this truth and you start to sober up as you hear these words, as you start to understand, as it starts to link up, and all the missing gaps keep getting filled in slowly, bit by bit, and you find yourself sobering up. As explained, Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So as we just see there, like I just said to you, Babylon is a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken with these philosophies, drunken with these ideas. And also Jeremiah 25:27, therefore thou shalt say unto them, thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. Okay, so what that's showing you is that, you know, all this drunkenness, drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall and rise no more. Okay, drink ye no more, be drunken no more, spew no more, and fall no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. And the sword is this word, it's this Bible. Micah 2:1 says it all clearly. Woe to them, woe meaning destruction, woe to them that devise iniquity. This is what's going to happen to them at the end. We're getting close to this point now. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And that's what they do. If they want to come and repossess your stuff, they just do it. They jack up the interest rates, put you in a point where you can't afford it, and then they come and repossess it. And they covet fields and take them by violence, which they do in war. They use political propaganda to make reasons to go to war, so they can go somewhere and take fields by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Because, you know, once your land's been destroyed, that's your history, that's your people's history gone. Therefore, thus said the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. Okay, again, this is all going into that secret council. Woe to the oppressors, the secret council, thy hidden ones. Okay, so talking about the Illuminati would not be complete without talking about the Georgia Guidestones. So upon the Georgia Guidestones are written the agenda, the guidelines, the rules of the Illuminati, the New World Order. And when you have a look at this one here, at the top there, we can see maintain humanity under 500 million. And if you look down the bottom there, unite humanity with a living new language, which is what I went into according to the Tower of Babel and globalism. So Yeah, this is the Georgia Guidestones. This is the agenda of the Illuminati, and maintaining humanity under 500 million is something you need to be aware of, because it involves taking possibly you out. Now, they're going to, at the minute, we're in the midst of this mark of the beast. They're pushing this mark of the beast on us slowly but surely. And with the mark of the beast is going to be some sort of form of control. Having a microchip inside you in order for you to buy and sell. So without that mark of the beast, you won't be able to buy or sell. So you're going to be put in quite a difficult place in terms of making a choice as to whether to go with the mark of the beast and eat, or to go without it and not eat. Now, mark of the beast is something that you will not get delivered from. If you're waiting for deliverance and you decide to take mark of the beast, that's you out the picture, basically. Is straight like that. So you need to be aware of this. And like I say, in terms of the Illuminati, when they push this mark of the beast on you, and they know that a lot of people might not want to go with it, and a lot of people might end up falling by the wayside, shall we say, they're not really too fussed, because they want to maintain humanity under 500 million, as you can see, in order for them to continue living the way they live in, which is in a non-eco-friendly way. They've raped the land, they've taken everything out of the land for hundreds of years, and there's nothing left. And for them to keep doing what they're doing the way they're doing it, they need to maintain the population of the earth. If they lived in the right, proper manner, lived with the earth, you wouldn't have to worry about maintaining the population, because the resources would be there for everybody to live. But they don't live like that. They live in a wicked way. They like to dig up the earth, use up the resources, the minerals, and there's pretty much nothing left anymore, which is why they feel they have to maintain humanity under that amount in order to keep surviving, pumping their gas into the air and all that kind of stuff. And if we look down here, the Georgia Guidestones pretty much brought together with philosophies of these four places. So we've got the Babylonian, classical Greek, we've got the Egyptian on the left, and down the bottom there we have Sanskrit. Okay, in the middle it says, "These be guidestones to an age of reason." And they're trying to, their philosophies, the way that they're operating in this earth today, the messages and the type of lifestyle they're pushing out onto you, involves taking philosophies from these kingdoms, these four places. And this is what I was trying to explain to you about, going back to sun worship. It's pretty much all there. And that's why these Illuminati, what they're doing, what they've been doing really is trying to rebrand everything and just sell it to you again as sun worship, but as something else. And don't forget, these works of stone made by man's hand, again, are worshipped by this Illuminati. So, they're not Israel. The laws don't apply to them. But if you're going with the New World Order, if you're going with the mark of the beast, you might say, "Oh, I'm not a Muslim, I don't worship stone." Well, if you go with mark of the beast, if you go with capitalism and globalism, and you're a fan of that and you want to support that, then you really and truly, you got your heart lies in these stones. So this one made me laugh. Somebody's left a precept on here. Here we go. "Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. They exchanged the glory of the uncorruptible Yahweh for the image of corruptible man and animals." Romans 1 and 23. Okay, so that's, and if we look down here, but we are worshipping the creation and not the creator. We are fools. Well, what can you say about that? Number one, that precept applies to Israel, only the nation of Israel, because it says here, they exchanged the glory of the uncorruptible Yahweh for the image of the corruptible man and animals. So only Israel could exchange that glory, because only Israel had it. These other nations never had the glory of Yahweh and the image. They were never made in the image of Yahweh, so they could not swap that image for the corruptible image of man and animals. Only Israel could do that. So this precept only applies to Israel. Number one. Number two, it says here, we are worshipping the creation, not the creator. We are fools. Well, these other nations are fools because they don't have the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai like Israel do, and that's why they cannot worship the Creator. It's not down to them. I mean, it's, you know, in the kingdom we will push the law onto them, but they don't have it in them to exchange. And don't forget the image of the Most High. When it says you're made in the image of the Most High, that is a representation, like a reputation. You know, your image precedes you, so people have an image of you before you arrive there with them. You know, you tell them that you're on the way, and before you get there, they have an image, a perception of you, a reputation of you. And that's, a lot of people think that we're made in the image of Yahweh relates to the looks. Well, you know, to a certain degree, but not really. It's the image is reputation. You know, your image goes before you. We can see what happens with the misuse of riches of these top Illuminati bankers. Here we go. James chapter 5 and 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the labourers who have reaped down your fields, which of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabbath. Now, the Lord of Sabbath is the Lord of armies, the Lord of Israel. That's Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And what he's showing you is that these people, these Illuminati elites, these top bankers of this world, who make people labour for them but keep back the fields via fraud, their gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against them, and shall eat their flesh as if it were fire. These top elite bankers have heaped together treasure for hundreds of years, and all Yahweh is trying to tell them is that ye have heaped treasure together for the last days, because in those last days they won't do much for you. And if we go over to Job chapter 20 and 1, the triumph of the wicked is short. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, Therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer, and for this I make haste. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causeth me to answer. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Thou his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. And that goes into Edomites, these Illuminati. You know, they've created this air force, this space force. They've got this space station up there, and that's them with their excellency, their excellent work. They've put this technology together, and they've got their head up in the clouds, but that also fills them with pride, which is what Yahweh's going to strip from them. Job chapter 20 and 7, Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, Where is he? Now, don't forget, you know, when a piece of dung, a piece of shit basically hits the floor, nobody touches it. It pretty much sits there for the rest of its life until it perishes away. And that is what the hypocrites shall be. He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. And I say that again, his children, right? His children, the children of the Edomites, shall seek to please the poor. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Thou wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. And that's what these elites do. They talk to you very nicely and they make their plans go ahead, but really under their tongue they're hiding the truth under their tongue. Though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned, it's off, it's gone off. It is the gall of asps within him. He that swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Yahweh shall cast them out of his belly. And that says it all right there. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Yahweh shall cast them out of his belly. To Job chapter 8 and 20, behold, Yahweh will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers, till he fill thy mouth with laughing and thy lips with rejoicing. They that hate thee shall be clothed with shame, and the dwelling place of the wicked shall come to naught. So remember, look out for the Illuminati, the secret council. Use your understanding to watch their moves, their next moves. Stay away from sun worship. Stay away from idolization. Stay away from anything that they push to you. It's not long now left until Yahushua returns, and the next major move from this Illuminati New World Order is the mark of the beast, which they're going to be pushing. They're in the middle of pushing this agenda right now. So that's what you need to watch out for. That's what you need to look out for and be aware of next. And with that, I'll leave you with this. Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And with that, I hope you are edified, Lord willing. Until next time, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash, and Shalom.